Hello, everyone. This is Professor Condry. Welcome to Introduction to Film. The purpose of this video is to introduce myself and go over some basic information about the course. For complete, detailed information about the class and its requirements, please consult our course syllabus on Canvas. I'm going to begin by going over some basic information about myself. I've been working full-time at Yuba College since 2006. I've been teaching this class for about 7 years now. It's probably my favorite class to teach because there's a lot to love about this class. I love the shared experience of watching a film together and being able to debate its strengths and weaknesses and share our insights and opinions about it. I love when students begin noting and getting excited about the concepts as they recognize them in the films we're watching. For so many reasons, this class is a lot of fun. I want to say a few things about what this class is and what this class isn't, and a little bit about what you should expect. On one hand, this is a class where we get to watch movies and have conversations about them. It's really hard for an instructor to mess up a class like this because who doesn't enjoy watching movies? But this class isn't just about watching movies. In another video, I'm going to talk about the distinction between watching movies and actually looking at movies. But I'll just say for now that even though the general purpose of movies is to entertain or otherwise emotionally engage us, that's not what this class is about. This class is really about teaching analysis. My goal is to help you develop the ability to recognize the techniques filmmakers use to tell stories and to treat film just like you would any other type of art. For example, we start the semester considering how filmmakers use the camera, how they position it, the angles they use to shoot the action, the use of close-ups, how they move the camera to capture action, so that we can begin to see how camera techniques contribute to what we're seeing in a particular moment, how they help reinforce the action on the screen. We'll also look at things like lighting, sound editing, acting, film genre, but the purpose is always the same, to help you become better at analyzing film. To do this, I try to select movies that are conspicuous in their techniques. In other words, when I'm trying to teach you a concept, I'll try to choose a movie that provides strong examples of the idea. This isn't always possible, but what it means is I end up choosing movies that are really stylized, sometimes experimental, so that it's easy for us to learn to pick up on certain things that are going on. So now let's get to what this class isn't about. Experiencing a movie is generally a passive experience. We go to a theater or find something on our streaming service, sit back, maybe eat a snack, and let the movie operate on us. This is what I mean by a passive experience. That's not what this class is about. We're going to approach the viewing of films as an active experience, one that demands that we're actively engaged in paying attention to details. As I said earlier, this class is not about your entertainment. You have plenty of opportunities to watch movies for your own entertainment. This isn't it. I'm not saying you won't find entertainment value in some of these films. I'm just saying that you need to put the regular expectations you have as a movie consumer aside and understand that what we're doing is something else. I now want to talk a little bit about the selection of films. This is not unrelated to what I've just said, but I want to focus how I go about choosing the movies we watch. As I mentioned previously, I try to select films that are conspicuous in their techniques. And as I wrote in the syllabus for the course, I tried to put together a film list made up of well-regarded classics, recent Academy Award nominees, blockbusters, foreign language films, and art house cinema. In all cases, I attempt to select films that are in their own way well made and rich for analysis. Now, the process of selecting films has been made a little bit more complicated by moving the class online. When I teach this class in a face-to-face modality, most, if not all, of the film screenings occur during the regular class meetings, and I have the choice of thousands of films. Generally, though, I have a list of about 30 films that I come back to semester after semester because they have proven to work in helping students meet the objectives of the course. This has been complicated by moving the class online. Because we're online, we need everyone to have free and easy access to the same movie titles. To do this, we're using a service called Kanopy, but one of the drawbacks of this streaming service is that the titles that are available are quite limited. To give you an example, of the 30 or so films I've used in the past to teach this class, Kanopy only has about a half dozen of those. So while I'd love to be able to use films like Wonder Woman, Raising Arizona, Sholay, Thelma and Louise, No Country for Old Men, maybe not all household names, but films with familiar casts or lots of awards, Canopy has some limitations in this regard. What this means practically is that while my personal taste in films do tend toward the weird and experimental, and my teaching preference is towards films that are really stylized so we can learn to see the concepts we're studying, using Canopy means that the movies we watch will lean even more toward the strange and non-traditional side of things just because of the nature of their film catalog. Under normal circumstances, if you're a person used to conventional American movies, big budgets, explosions, happy endings, or preachy uplifting messages, you're going to find the films we watch in this class far away from your expectations as to what makes a movie, quote, entertaining. You're going to be exposed to movies that challenge your very idea of what constitutes a movie. You will be made to feel uncomfortable. We will study movies in this class that will make you go, what the did I just watch? You may find some of these movies slow in their pacing. You may get pissed off by movies that end without wrapping up loose ends. You may find some of the films much more violent than your usual taste. You may be bored to death by films in black and white or distracted by films with subtitles. In short, you may hate some of the movies we watched this semester, and that's okay. I want you to react negatively. I want you to have strong opinions about the films, including about their quality. I am never offended when somebody hates a movie. What I do hope is that even if you hate a movie, that you can look beyond that and find in it the thing that we're looking for. What I'm saying is that we can all separate our evaluation of a film's quality from our ability to analyze it for its techniques. In fact, there are movies we'll study this semester that I believe are flawed in various ways, but that I still think can help us understand how movies are constructed and how they produce effects in audiences. I want to jump now to breaking down the work of the class. Specifically, I want to discuss the assignments that count toward your grade. I'm not referring to the required reading and viewing assignments, but rather those that involve writing or completing an exam. So there are two assignments that we will complete for every single movie that you watch. For every film you watch, you're going to complete something called the 5 Moments Film Notes. This is basically a note-taking activity to encourage active viewing of the films. For every film we watch, you will upload a set of notes based on completing this 5 Moments film sheet, which you can see here. Okay. The sheet asks you to describe 5 moments in the film that stood out to you for some reason. The moments you choose are up to you. They might be related to the concept we covered that week, or just something you found interesting or significant. For each of these moments, you will record your corresponding reaction. Basically, what did you find? Why did you find that moment significant? What did you notice in it? What sort of emotional or intellectual reaction did you have? The moment you choose, and obviously your responses, are based on your own experience. This is an informal assignment. The idea behind this is to get you in the practice of taking notes as we watch the films. Some people will type these notes right into the provided form, right into this form. Others might write things down by hand first of all, and then later type them in. Either way, you're going to be filling this out and then uploading it for each film. And while it's very informal, it is something we're going to do with every single movie. The second assignment you will complete for every film involves posting to a discussion board. We call these quick response discussion posts. And like the 5 moments film notes, these are very informal and based on your own personal responses to the film. You can post your response to the prompt, which will be really generic, or you can respond to a classmate. In any case, to receive full credit, you need to post at least 150 words. This is one of those things that if you complete it, meet the word requirements, and produce something that is readable and not riddled with errors, you will get full credit. The next assignment type I want to discuss is called homework assignments. I know this can be confusing because all our assignments are homework assignments, but these are assignments of a specific type. Unlike the 5 moments notes and the quick response discussion posts, you do not have to complete these for every film we screen. You will be required to watch more than a dozen feature-length films this semester, generally 2 for every week. But as for these homework assignments, you will only need to complete 10. Each homework assignment will ask you to respond to a detailed prompt that reflects the focus of the class at that particular moment. You'll be required to produce 2 or 3 paragraphs, depending on the assignment directions. To be clear, I'm not asking you to write a mini essay or anything. I'm just looking for focused, efficient responses to the writing prompt. These will be graded more stringently than the other regular assignments, with a rubric that evaluates you based on whether you meet, exceed, or fail to meet the expectations for the response. What's also important to note about these is that taken together, they constitute 20% of your grade. Doing a good job on these can be the difference between passing and failing, so please take these very seriously. The other thing to know about these assignments is that any that you complete beyond 10 will earn you extra credit. As for exams, we will take 2 exams this semester. These exams will be multiple choice and/or matching. The questions will be based on 3 areas: vocabulary from the course lecture slides. The second is details about the film that should have been obvious if you were paying attention to it. The third is being able to match a film with the name of the person who directed it. In terms of item 1, I will present you with concepts in lecture. Usually that means that week's lecture slide or page and/or video lecture. Generally, these concepts will be from the book, but they might also include ideas not addressed in the book that I think are important for you in meeting the course objectives. You will notice that not every term found in the textbook reading assignment will appear on the lecture slides or the lecture page, which means those terms will not be on the exam. You will only be tested on concepts in the lecture slide or the lecture page. If it doesn't show up there, it won't show up on the exam. As for item 2, the details about movies, these will be pretty obvious to people who paid attention. For example, let's say a film takes place in New York City and this detail is pretty conspicuously part of the film's action. I might have a question on the test asking you about the setting of the film, and you need to choose the correct city from a list of options that might include other cities from around the world. Honestly, I'm not trying to trip people up, but rather just make sure you watch the film and you paid attention to it. The last item, matching a director with her film, involves being provided a list of director names and a list of movie titles. This involves a little bit of memorization on your part, but honestly, an important part of the study of film is being able to associate movies with their creators. Finally, let's talk about the final essay. I will have more to say about this in a later video lecture, but let me tell you what it's about at its most basic. What I'm asking you to do is not produce a traditional essay with an introduction and a thesis statement, but rather that you complete a series of 10 parts and pull those together into a single essay form. To begin, you'll need to select one brief scene from a single movie. That movie can be from our film screening list or a list that I'll provide of additional titles by the end of the first week of class. This essay will require you to demonstrate your understanding of course concepts by applying them to your chosen scene. Note that if you look at the assignment right now, you might find concepts that are unfamiliar to you, and that's simply because we haven't covered them yet. I promise that the vocabulary in those assignments will become familiar to you over the course of the semester. If you look at the assignment description, you'll see that I've added an example of what a response to the assignment might look like. Really, what's important right now is that you understand that the sooner you start on this assignment, the better. That's it for this introductory video. Again, please have a look at the syllabus. If you've looked that over and you've looked over the information about online learning, please complete Module 0. And by this point, you should be into Module 1. Thank you very much and welcome to the class.